There it is, the Lincoln Highway. Established in 1913, it was to be the first improved, high-quality, direct and efficient paved road across the United States, from New York City to San Francisco.
I think the fun of driving on any historic highway, especially the Lincoln Highway, is the sense of what am I going to see this time?
It goes completely from one coast to the other. There's no end to it.
We think the Lincoln Highway is first and the best and the longest and all that stuff. But
before the Lincoln Highway, you just didn't jump in your car and take off any distance.
The Lincoln Highway is really a great way to learn about the geography and the history of the United States.
I think it's the second biggest thing on earth. It's the longest thing in America.
I think it's a national treasure, the Lincoln Highway, and I think it should be preserved and it should be promoted.
I just thought it was 30, Route 30. That is what it is, isn't it?
If I find a small piece of Lincoln Highway, I'll drive on it just for curiosity's sake.
This was a very rugged part of the Lincoln Highway. As you can see, was pretty desolate.
To me, it's the people that you get to meet as well.
Love a good road, love a good path.
Just travel the Lincoln Highway and forget the interstate.
Going all the way on the Lincoln Highway. Going all the way on the Lincoln Highway. On the Lincoln Highway.
So we're going to take a ride along the Lincoln Highway. And we won't see everything this trip, but we'll see a lot. And we hope we'll see you on the highway tomorrow.
There's a lot more to see if you follow the old Lincoln Highway.
I like Nebraska a lot.
The beauty is, there's no age limit on learning about the Lincoln. Consider these two guys, Buddy Rosenbaum, a New York psychologist, and Bob Chase, a businessman from San Francisco. They're in their early 70s, and they're into what they call motorcycle adventure touring.
We've been in the Himalayas, we've been in North, South Africa, we've been in South America, and we want to keep going.
We started this trip on the western terminus in Lincoln Park in San Francisco. We are following the Lincoln Highway all the way across the United States, and we'll end up in Times Square in New York City.
They proposed a clever deal to ride these three-wheeled cycles called MP3 500s, made by the Italian company called Piaggio. We met Buddy and Bob in Wyoming and talked with them on a beautiful stretch of the Lincoln known as the Medicine Bow Loop.
Well, Medicine Bow, a lot of history here in Medicine Bow, and it's just the name of the town is enough to make people stop, I think.
The Lincoln Highway is kind of coy and seclusive, and it doesn't want to reveal itself to you too quickly. But when it does, it's an absolute joy.
Just coming across on the Lincoln Highway and finding all of the little off the beaten track part that was part of the original, it's just exciting to me.
We met up with them again a couple of weeks later, farther east.
Overall, we have found so far really what we set out to, America, Main Street America.
We're trying to do maybe 100 to 125, 30 miles a day. It gives us time to stop and really explore the Lincoln Highway.
It's Wednesday, we must be in Pittsburgh.
The advice is don't hurry. Take your time.
And do it. If you can't do the whole thing as we're doing, from Western Terminus to Eastern Terminus, Times Square, do pieces. In fact, you may even get more out of that if you can concentrate on a state or even a portion of a state.
On July 14th, 2008, Bob and Buddy get to Times Square right on time.
Piaggio had arranged for a ceremony at the eastern terminus of the Lincoln Highway, and they actually closed the area by Times Square when we came in. Sometimes I think of what was the real highlight of the trip. In psychology, we have a term, Gestalt. It was the total configuration of the Lincoln Highway has really become the highlight of the trip.
I love it. I love it. It's my favorite road in America, and I plan on doing it again and again and again.
No matter how many times you set out on the Lincoln, there are surprises. For instance, say you're in Utah, heading southwest out of Salt Lake City. You can take a short side trip for a dip in the Great Salt Lake and find yourself at an unusual building with turrets and onion domes called the Great Salt Air.